Almost all schools have some kind of religious observance, and every council's education committee is obliged to have 3 unelected religious representatives. Is that appropriate in a country where more people now identify as having no religion than belong to the largest denomination, the Church of Scotland? We'll discuss that in a moment. First, here's Andrew Black.
Religion has always been part of our schooling system. There was a time when the Church ran schools before they came under state control. But now members of Scotland's secular society have been questioning whether the Church has too much influence in our education authorities today. The level of influence the Church has in today's society is one of the key arguments in this debate, but religious groups will point you to the last census, which stated that over half of the population belonged to a Christian denomination. But secular members of society point to another figure in the census which they say is equally as significant, that 37% of the population say they have no religion. That's one concern. Another is legislation which puts religious representatives on local authority education committees, and now the Edinburgh Secular Society has called on Parliament to consider scrapping it. They argue that having unelected religious representatives on education committees is undemocratic and self-serving. And there's concern about another aspect of religion in schools. Mark Gordon, who's a member of the Scottish Secular Society, says the current system which allows pupils to be opted out of religious observance in schools isn't working, and is concerned about his daughter being put at a disadvantage.
My child is very well treated. It's a very good school. But there were 2 occasions where by accident she was, shall we say, disadvantaged. And it's really not about me personally. What I recognised was that kids will be disadvantaged by opting out. And I saw that changing the position from opt out to opt in other words, asking parents first before the child is given religious observance, before they're made to pray or attend a school assembly with a minister present, they should be asked first. And I figured that opting in to that, positively opting into that, would be a better way of dealing with this. Concerns I have are more not for my own child, but for some other children around the country. We have a huge number of examples of children who are being very badly disadvantaged by opting out. In many cases, the parent is not opting out because they perceive that the parent-teacher relationship will be damaged.
But that argument, along with the criticism of who gets the right to sit on council education committees, is strongly disputed by church figures. In fact, they say religion is an integral part of society and that the school system plays an important part in that.
It's every 6 weeks I go to an education committee meeting. Obviously, when there are issues about, say, school closures or a new school or something, maybe the Director of Education or the Chair of the Education Committee or the Leader of the Council will phone me up and say, do you want to have a chat about this? We have a chat about it. It's discussed. Proposals are brought forward in relation to denominational schools, for example. And then it goes out for consultation if it's about something that, you know, parents need to be consulted about. It's not secret, but it's just that we have a viewpoint in education. We have an experience in education. We're one of the biggest educators in the world, the Catholic Church. And the schools belonged to us before they transferred into the state system in 1918.
So are we likely to see any change in the future? Well, secular campaigners know they've got a long fight ahead, and both the Catholic Church and Church of Scotland aren't showing any signs of budging. It does look like, for now anyway, that the current policy will continue.